You have to understand the value you have in society. Because if you don't value yourself correctly, you're going to find yourself in situations where people are going to pay less for your services, pay less for your products. You're going to get in shitty relationships. You're going to find yourself in shitty friend groups because you don't value yourself. Value doesn't just constitute to a number, right? We normally constitute value to how much money you're going to make, how much you're worth in society. But in reality, value and the value that you hold yourself in constitutes to a lot more. Your relationships, the success you're going to have, your entire life, the people you're going to surround yourself with, the energy that you're going to put into things, and the energy that you're going to take out of things that aren't serving you anymore. So if you find that you are in absolutely dire situations, friends that don't value you, people who don't love you, your time is being wasted, right? Your products aren't selling, or you're getting penance for them, even though you work extremely hard for them, it's probably because you don't value yourself, and you really need to start to. So this is your first time here. My name is Aaliyah. Hello. As you can see, I did my other hand of henna, and it's amazing. This is actually where this video came from, my henna. And the example that I'm going to give you is quite funny because around Eid Mubarak, everyone that's celebrating today and yesterday, so hello. Eid in and of itself, you have events where you do henna, right? I've been doing henna since I was around 6 years old. So I've developed my own little skill of how to do it and when I do it. And I'm quite proud of it, okay? And recently, for this Eid specifically, I had an event. More so, I went to my friend's house and I did some of her friends and some of her daughters, and I got paid for it as a result. And before I went, I was trying to figure out how much money am I going to charge these women, right? I love them, I appreciate them, I respect them. I don't want to charge an excess amount. It is Eid, you know, they might be going through financial struggles. I want them to be able to hire me again. You know, I don't want to be pricing too much or too little. So I was kind of like going around in circles for a bit. And then I sat there for a minute thinking, Aaliyah, do you not value yourself? Like, do you think one hand of this work, right? This work that nearly took me, let's just say 40 minutes, 50 minutes for me to complete, right? Do you think that constitutes to being paid £5? Probably not, because there are people out here that charge just for this around 20, or for both of this around 40. And I'm here trying to charge them £5 a hand. Now, as much as it's respectful and as much as it's awareness of the current situation, maybe they don't have the money, maybe, you know, it's Eid and they're buying all these clothes and gifts and food and stuff, so I don't want to be adding on too much pressure. There's also a level of, I have a skill. My skill is great. I've worked hard on this. I've spent my time on this, time that I could have spent elsewhere. I should be getting paid what I value myself. So I charged it at an amount that I felt like was constituting to the value that I put in. I say this to say that when I was younger, I would charge £5 for this. £5 for this. I'd be getting £10 for all of this work. This entirely would have taken me at least, 2 hours to do? Maybe an hour and a half if I'm taking my time and if I'm actually talking to that person and building a rapport with them. £5, bro. You don't even get paid that in a 9-to-5 job for an hour. I got paid less. That's how much I valued myself. Point being is, as you grow and as you evolve as a human, right, you become a person where you start seeing where your value is held. You might be in very, very bad relationships where the men that you're with or the women that you're with don't treat you correctly. So your value kind of goes down. You start chilling with friends that don't necessarily do good things. They might be getting into drugs, into drinking. They might be going out all the time. They might be wasting their time. And as a result, you're wasting your time. So your value then decreases a little bit more. You surround yourself with people that aren't good for you. You go to a job that you don't enjoy. Your value is now going down. You go work a job that's 40 hours a week and you're getting paid, £10? Your value is going down. And this society is literally created so we can value ourselves the least. So they can pay us the least. I need you to get that into your head. We get told to dim our lights down. We get told to release our power. We get told to become a very minuscule version of who we are truly meant to be. So then we can be easily manipulated. So we have to go work. So we have to go work a very, very bad job so we can pay our rent. So we have to, settle for the man that comes in because our age is getting up or our biological clock is going away, right? We have to settle. That is not good. Because what that means is you are doing a disservice to yourself, for one. You're doing a disservice to God and the God that you believe in, that has given you all this power, all this amazingness, all of this intelligence, all of this ability to be smart, and you're just letting that go. But most importantly, you're doing a disservice to yourself, right? Like you're putting yourself at a value that doesn't even constitute to who you are. How do you up-level your value? Right? Because this is a question that I had to ask myself. And it became a practice more so. Everything in my life is a practice. Like you have to practice, like a mind muscle type of thing. You have to continuously keep on going with that muscle until it becomes stronger and stronger and stronger. All it is recognizing. Recognition. And what is the meaning of recognition? It's about being aware of the things that you already do, that you know you do well, and applauding yourself for it. Because no one else is going to give you an applaud for that. They're always going to base your value off of what they can afford. Always. They will always value your product off of, I have £20 in my account. I really want this henna done. I only want to pay £5. So I have £15 left to be able to buy my kids some presents, or to buy this clothes, or to buy that makeup. They're going to value your stuff at that. If you don't have a strong backbone, if you don't have a strong value system within yourself, you're going to give into that. You're going to feel bad. You're going to let your emotions get the best of you. And as a result, you're going to value yourself less. And because you now value yourself less, you're getting paid literally nothing. And at the end of the day, you're not going to feel fulfilled with the work that you've done and what you've been given back. This also works in the spiritual aspects as well, right? Because God works in a give or take kind of situation. How I like to kind of analogize it. Is that even a word? I don't even think it is. How I like to analogize it, right? God gives you something and he gives it back. So if you say to God, I am valued at this much, even though God created you as a being, literally chose you, valued you so much for you to be alive, to give you a soul, to give you breath, to be able to give you a mind, to be living in a society that you're living in now with a family that you grew up in, right? But you're saying, God, I'm worth £5 today. God's going to be, all right, cool. I'm just going to give you £5 worth of stuff. Like, yeah, cool. You can't afford that coffee that you really want. You can't go to that bougie ass place and buy that dress. You have to shop in the sales section. That's not how my life works. Because God said, pray for everything. Pray for everything and beyond. Pray for the biggest and the best things in life. So why am I cutting myself short because of what society tells me that I am? That shouldn't be the case. Start recognizing the skills you have. This is a skill I have, right? And I'm fucking great at it, okay? Like, look at it. Do you understand? There are people that do a lot worse job than I do, right? And I didn't even learn this from someone. I learned myself. I'm self-taught, right? This takes me ages to do, but I love it, right? I love looking at it. I love doing it. It's very calming. It's very interesting to learn new designs and to be able to do it on people and make them happy, because you normally do it in a time of a joyous occasion, a wedding, Eid, something that is somewhat joyous. Point being is, if I never recognize that this is a skill of mine and how good I am, I will never ever ever be able to value myself the same way that all these other people value themselves at. Start recognizing your skill. Whether it's making a tea, bro, whether it's making a cup of tea, whether it's making breakfast, whether it's making food, whether it's baking, whether it's sewing, whether it's knitting, whether it's anything. Maybe you're great at talking. Maybe you're great at doing PowerPoints. Maybe you're great at writing essays. Recognize how good you are and give yourself the applaud that you deserve. No one is going to give you the same applaud that you are going to give yourself. It will never happen. Point being, right? When you start to recognize the value that you have yourself, parts of your life that you can't even see yet, you're going to start seeing the value in. When I started to see the value in the little skills that I know I have, but I was dulling down and I brought them back up again, I started seeing, oh my God, like I'm really good at makeup. I'm really good at doing my hair. I'm really good at cooking. I'm really good at baking. I'm really, really good at this. I can actually charge for this stuff, right? That's just the monetarily side part, the monetarily side of it, right? But then it comes down to relationships as well, because now you start valuing yourself more. You start valuing your time more. You start valuing who you are as a person. You start valuing what you're doing, where you're spending your time, the people that you spend your time with. What do you do as a result of that? You might find that the man that you've been with for 4 or 5 years isn't actually for you. You might realize that the friends you've been surrounding yourself with isn't actually good for you, right? Because they're wasting your time. And the way you start seeing this is by recognizing who you are. Value is only recognition. Someone saw a product and said, yeah, this thing cost me £5. I'm going to charge it for 10. It's recognizing it. Whereas if you go to Hermes, they're going to see that bag. It could be the same exact bag with the same exact fabric, with the same exact artisans to make it as Louis Vuitton. Why is it charged as an excess? Because they recognize that costs a lot more for them. This should cost a lot more for them. So I'm going to charge it at this amount. Stop playing yourself small. Stop being small. Because when you become small, everything around you becomes small. The relationships, the money, the success, the business, the friends. But when you start valuing yourself as someone that doesn't waste their time, someone that can see their worth, someone that can see that their product, their services is deserving of a very high quality price, you're going to start finding people that are going to attract that and going to be able to afford that. Don't worry about the people that you see right now. You're only starting. Yeah, you might see that service and say, I want to charge £500. The people instantly around you might not be able to afford that. Cool. But what you've done now is sent a message, whether it's to the universe, to God, and you've said, God, this is what I want to serve my prices at. And you let it happen. You let it unfold. And as you let it unfold, you're going to see that the people that can afford those things are going to come into reality. Because even if it's not the first 5 or the first 50 people that don't buy that service, or the first 5 or the first 50 people that you come across at, or the first 5 or 50 people that you come across as being friends with, that one person that you do find, that 51 person or that 6 person that you find, is going to be the perfect one. It's going to be the one that matches all your criteria. So stop settling, because your value is the only thing you have in this life. This life, this society is literally based off of a value system. Who are you? And the great thing with value is that you decide what your value is. The only thing society gives us is many stones that hit our window and say, you're not good enough. You're not this. You shouldn't be pricing that much. People are in a living crisis, X, Y, Z. And people listen, and then they lower their value. And it's not good, because then you can't see your value, I can't see your value, and I'm going to just pay you what you think you deserve.